What's up, everybody? Welcome back to yet another interview of the Jackcast. Today, I'm here with star Orange Lutheran receiver Chris Flores Jr. Hey, Chris, how you doing today?
And I'm doing good. How you doing, bro?
Pretty, pretty solid. All right. So,
There you
Chris,
go. There you go.
take me back to the beginning of your football journey. When did you first, would you say, fall in love with football, and what pulled you into the game?
I would say I first kind of fell in love with football when I was little. I grew up around football. Everybody around me played football. Like all the people I look to as like my big bros all played football and all played at a high level. So, I was always at Cathedral out in Los Angeles. I was there all the time as a baby, doing the camps, doing everything. So, I just feel like I just grew up around it and I got around some elite guys. So just seeing it and just like seeing everyone around me do it, it just made me wanted me to do it more. So I would say that was just the biggest thing. I've just been around it my whole life. I've learned the game. I've played the game. So I think it's just amazing sport, and I think that's why.
How's your journey at Orange Lutheran translated into what you're doing now with Team Uno and 77 and 77? But yeah, also, your training.
I think for me, it's always kind of been, I've never been kind of a person who likes to follow trends or likes to hop on a bandwagon. So I grew up right down like kind of nearby Bosco. Like I moved here when I was probably 11. So just being around Bosco and seeing them win for so long, it just honestly, I've always wanted to beat them. Like damn, modern day, like just seeing all the big dogs in California. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to go play in those games, but not play with them. Like kind of play against them. You know what I'm saying? So I think just playing with a chip on my shoulder, and when I went to Olu, we wasn't really nationally ranked. We hadn't really done nothing. And then kind of as I've been there throughout the last 3 years, and it's not only been me. I've had a lot of great upperclassmen and underclassmen. So I think just where we've taken the program, we wasn't ranked in the past 3 years. We've been ranked nationally top 15. So I think that just says it itself. Like just playing with a chip on your shoulder, and I think you see that out in OT7. When I went out with Uno, we was 0-5. I didn't play the first week, and then the second week, we go out there and get some victories. So I feel like I've always felt myself to be like a culture changer, a game changer. Like I could come in and change the team, change the dynamic. So I feel like that's kind of always what I play with, that chip on my shoulder, and to be a game changer, really. So I feel like that's how I carry myself, and how I live my life.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, when you stack up, your game, you'd say like against other receivers in the 2027 class, like nationally, what do you think like truly separates you from everybody else?
Man, you know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot of great receivers in the class of 2027, across the country. So I think just for me, really, it's just my mindset, my mentality. I would say, I've been doing this since I was a baby. So I think I just want it more than everybody. In my opinion, I've never been the biggest dude in the room, the fastest dude in the room. So I think just me wanting it more is how to kind of gotten me where I am today, just outworking everybody and continue outworking everybody. And I'm not trying to take no shot at nobody, I think we have the best receiving class in a very long time. You know what I'm saying? Across the board, California, out of Texas, Florida, like everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and just seeing all these great players, all in my class, it just makes me want to compete more. You know what I'm saying? To put my name with those people. So I think that's kind of what it is.
For someone who's never seen you play, how would you describe your play style in your own words?
I mean, for me, my play style, I would just say, I think I play pretty just explosive. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm a fun player to watch, whether it's winning one on ones, catching screens and taking to the touchdown, kick return, punt return, throwing passes. I feel like I could do it all. So I feel like I just am an explosive player. I make big plays. I make the right plays, the smart plays. So I feel like that's kind of what I bring to the table. Whatever you need, kind of.
I mean, I've seen your highlights before. It's crazy. You're juking all these guys, catching some good passes. So
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Appreciate you, bro.
I mean, over the last year, where have you seen the biggest, like, where would you say you've seen the biggest jump in your development?
The biggest jump in my development, I would say, is my speed, kind of, you know, and just my speed and my overall size. My freshman year, I was catching the possession, I was winning the one on ones, but I wasn't making those big plays yet. I wasn't, catching screens and taking them to the crib. I wasn't breaking people off one on ones, catching fade balls. Like I wasn't making the game changing plays. I was just making the right plays. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't taking over the game yet, and I think I made that jump my sophomore year, just to kind of just taking over the game. You know, fade balls, one on ones, like just becoming the guy. Kind of, I think that's just been my biggest jump, is just becoming more of the guy instead of like a role player or receiver too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Um, what would you say is the driving force behind like your work ethic? I know you've talked about it like a little bit, you've been playing football for a while now, so what's the driving force behind your work ethic?
How my work ethic, I would say just my family. You know how much they put into me, and just those nights where you're going to sleep late and have to wake up early next morning for another workout. You know what I'm saying? Like those days, they never left my side. They was always with me. They pushed me through everything, and I would say that's kind of what I do it for my family. And I like the people who don't believe. Like the people who don't believe me. I don't worry too much about them, but I would say those people too. I like to go prove wrong, and I like to prove my people right. So the people who put the work into me have been with me since the beginning. I love proving them right. And I love um, coming back and supporting them. I love doing all that for my family. So I think my family is just my biggest driving factor.
I love that. When things aren't going your way mid-game, I know that rarely happens to you now, but when something like that happens, how do you reset mentally and, stay sharp?
How would I think for me, how I reset mentally, I just feel like I just very resilient. I just feel like this is the next play mentality. I don't let the last play bother me. It's stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? You're not perfect. The game ain't perfect. Stuff happens, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I think just that next play mentality, and just honestly not folding. I've never been the type of person to fold. So I think that pressure. I mean, if you shouldn't really feel no pressure. That's what you signed up for. So I think just that ability not to fold and just be able to play that next play and not worry about what's going on, the outside noise, the cheering, whatever it may be. Just focusing on what you got to focus on, what you could control, and that's really it.
Um, what would you say is something that people don't see, about like the work that you put in, behind the scenes?
I mean, I would say people don't see any of the work. A lot of work, actually. I post my workouts every once in a while. I don't talk about my workouts. I don't talk about what I be doing, but it gets put in probably every day. I'm at either if I'm with my big brother OC at Inglewood, I'm working out, or I'm here in the garage lifting. I'm doing something every single day. So I think I do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I'm not a big Instagram guy or a big TikTok guy. Like I don't post too much. I just really keep my head down and work. So I would say just everything. I just keep my head down. Stay down till you come up. So I think that's just kind of what it's been for me. Whether it's here on the field in Inglewood or I'm just lifting in the garage. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing something every day. So I think a lot of the stuff I do goes unseen, but I don't really need too many people to watch me. So I feel like that's really what it is.
That's great. I know with that work ethic that you have already, you've picked up some major offers from programs like the Michigan Wolverines. I know Arizona and also Houston have given you offers. Would you say that like fuels you to push even harder, or do you feel like you're in the right, you're right where you need to be, like, process wise?
Nah, never. I don't think I ever have ever been complacent. And it's not to be greedy. I'm grateful for every opportunity I have, every opportunity to play. To me, it's just I've never been taught. I've never been raised to settle. So I'm always gonna keep pushing myself. And it could have been, I could have 0 offers or 500 offers. I'm gonna work the same way. So I feel like I've just never got complacent with that. Because it could be taken away at any given ability. I have a whole senior season. Anything can happen. So I feel like that's kind of been what it is. Just never get complacent and just to continue to work, no matter if you high or you low. It doesn't matter where you at. Just to continue to work.
I mean, at the college and NFL level, obviously there's major players at the receiving, like Jeremiah Smith. I know Matt Tony for college too, but also, you know, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, those guys. Who would you say you model your game after, and why is that?
Man, a lot of guys I watch. I mean, I watch people that kind of play more like me. I watch Makai Lemon a lot. I watch Tank Dell a lot. I watch those two guys a lot, kind of because they're similar receiver types to me. Makai Lemon being a slot receiver. He's not 6 foot. He's not 6'1". He's not a big receiver, and he's just making plays underneath. He's winning his one-on-ones. He's being explosive with the ball, and with Tank Dell, he's the same way. He's not a big receiver at all. He plays in the slot. He could play outside. He could do it all, but he just makes plays with the ball in his hand, winning one-on-ones. doing everything perfect to make up for the size and for the other, things that people say that you need. But I think that's kind of who I model my game after, those two guys for sure. Just because that they resemble my game, I resemble their game. You know what I'm saying? And again, I play. I think I take pieces and bits from everyone. Try and play with like me, my best. But I definitely watch those two guys for sure.
Who's been the toughest matchup, you faced so far? 'Cause I know you played OT7, high school, all top teams, in the country. But yeah, who's the toughest player you've played so far, and what did that matchup teach you?
Man, I would say the toughest DB I ever had to play against. Man, I didn't play against a lot of guys, so I don't want to get anyone mad or nothing. But to me, I would say my freshman year, I got to get a couple reps against Xavier Brown my freshman year. So I think that was definitely a big, you know, something for me. I grew up with ZB. He was always older, so he was always on the older team. But I kind of grew up watching him. So going to play against him, that was something surreal for real. And I think for me, when they playing against him, it was like almost like a chess match. He watched a lot of film. He knew what I was trying to do based off of releases, based off of alignment, based off of motions. So I feel like that was kind of like a game changer for me. Like it's really different. Like people aren't just going out there and just lining up. Like he was a student of the game, and it made it a lot more difficult for me because it's like, I'm not getting away with the easy stuff I get away with. Like he's sitting on stuff. He knows what's coming. So I feel like that was a big test for me. And my all the DBs at Olu have always given me great work at practice. You got Honor Johnson, King, Matthew Zapien, Chauncey Washington, K2, everybody at Olu, been giving me work. So I feel like, I feel like I got a lot of respect for a lot of DBs. Another modern day DB I've been playing against since I was probably in sixth grade. Aaron Washington, Jo. He's also always been a great matchup for me. I've been going one on one with that dude since I was probably like sixth grade, eighth grade. We went at it every single day at OC Buckeyes practice. So I'll say that's another great DB I play against. But I play against a lot of DBs, so it's hard to pick one.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about a bit like of Xavier Brown. He's projected first round pick in next year's NFL draft for 2027. Like, he's a beast, so I'm
Yeah.
sure you probably won most of those reps, right?
Nah, we went at it. I didn't get too many one-on-one reps against him. I got very limited. I think he was on some injury reserve or something, but
Oh
I
yeah.
got very limited. But the ones I got, like I could tell where the game was and like what it takes to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
not only there athletically and physically, but mentally. He's watching the game, he's studying, and I feel like that was kind of cool to see.
I mean, I know you're talking about Xavier Brown, but also like for OT7 too, like what would you say overall? What was your experience been like competing in OT7 against some of the best talent in the country?
I mean, it's been good. I mean, I've enjoyed it. I really don't like to get into the hype on Instagram or the hype because OT7 hypes you up. I'm not really into that stuff. I'm more of a guy you gotta come play, and then like we can see where you at. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
a lot of people, prove themselves like that they are like that, and a lot of people didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's definitely a cool experience. And I feel like I've been tested by the best athletes in the country my whole life. I feel like California football is kind of the best football. So I think just going against some of the elite guys my whole life it kind of made it a little bit easier out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Um, you got a chance to be around Jamar Chase with Team Uno. He's of course the founder of it. What was that experience like for you? And did he give you any advice that stuck with you or
I
any?
mean, it was a cool experience. Meeting him,
Yeah.
seeing someone that's been at that level. He didn't give me no advice. I wasn't there that weekend, but that was the
Oh,
first.
really?
Yeah, he didn't give me no advice, but I heard from some of the homies I was there that he's a cool dude. He's
Yeah.
humble. He gave him a couple plays. So just from what I heard he's like a cool guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But are you thinking if Team Uno sticks around in OT7 next year, are you thinking of returning back or?
I mean, I wish I could return back to 7-on-7, but I'll probably be in college by then. So I
Oh,
hope
that's true.
another team, and I hope that they could continue to maybe get some wins, maybe get into the championship. I hope they continue to do well.
Yeah, I mean, a few weekends ago, you went off for 35 catches. 328 yards and six touchdowns. At what point would you say did you realize that you were ready that weekend to put on a show?
I mean, shoot, I kind of knew going into that week. It's just 7 on 7 for me. Like, I've been playing that for a very long time, so I mean, it was cool, seeing OT7 posted. But I mean, I've been doing that for a minute, so I kind of knew. I told my mom about it, like, I'm about to go do this. Like, it was for me. It was like, it wasn't like none, no business trip, but I kind of knew what I was gonna go do. I kind of knew what I was gonna get myself into. I know most of those teams play 1-on-1s, and I don't think I could get hold 1-on-1 for a very long time. So I think I just kind of knew what I was gonna go do out there, and especially with Brady Edmonds. I've been playing 7-on-7 with him for a minute, so I think we had a good connection. I feel like I was just gonna go out there and do what I was trained to do. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really.
Yeah. You know, you seem like a humble guy, but I want to talk more about your relationships with some of your teammates. Like I know I spoke with Marcus Keir back in December, and we talked about the upset win over St. John Bosco in the CIF opener. What did that moment feel like for you? You talked about watching them and just now also playing against them now. So what was that?
Uh,
What was that like?
it was a cool experience. It was a cool experience to upset them first round. Especially playing right in the damn near down the street from my house. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a cool
Yeah.
experience. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a great time winning, and then it was a great experience. I feel like that was I think that was my biggest win in high school. Beating that first round, knocking out the number one team in the country. So I feel like that it was a great experience. It was definitely surreal, something you won't forget. And we just hopefully we got to do it again. We got close my sophomore year, and then we got it done on our junior year. So I think it was definitely a cool experience. But
Yeah. What would you say stands out most about? Yeah, I know you play with him. Marcus Keir. What do you think stands out most about him? How he carries himself both on and off the field.
Marcus Carey, man, he's a great player. He's a big receiver. He can move great for how big he is. He can go attack the ball at a high point. He wins 1-on-1. So I feel like playing with him has definitely been great. I've been playing with him for a good amount of time. So I feel like he's a very great player. He's very smart. He knows what he's doing, and I feel like he's just an all around great player, all around great receiver, and he's definitely someone I enjoy playing with.
Yeah, how important is it to build relationships with guys like Marcus, that early in your career who are going to college now, who heck, even the guys who might be younger than you and also the ones who are in the junior class of yours. How how is it how is it important to build those kind of relationships?
Man, I think it's very important. Just your team chemistry. Because it feels a lot better going and playing and putting in your all playing for someone that that's your homie and that's your boy rather than just a stranger. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's very important. Whether it's getting someone taking you under their wing or you taking someone under your wing. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely important and it's definitely what you need in order to be a successful team. You need that because if not, it's not gonna go very well.
I want to talk more about Team Uno and OT7. So, what would you say what are your thoughts on where Team Uno stands right now after this OT7 campaign?
I think we dug ourselves a hole early and went on five, and I think we got two big wins. We beat Midwest Boom and we beat Low Pro, and Low Pro just won the Golden Division. So I think we stand. I think we're one of the better teams there. We just lost a couple close games. We lost to C1N 3 times by one touchdown, like at the end of the game. So I think we're losing to very good teams at the end of the game or one touchdown game. So I think we're a very solid team, and I think we just put those pieces together, and have everyone there. We're gonna be a good team, and we're gonna win those close games.
Are you guys still in the playoff race or?
I don't even know. I haven't really tapped back in with that since I was out there, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Um, well, looking at the OT7 playoffs, who do you say other than Team Uno, if like let's say they're out, who are you rolling with, and what makes that team stand out to you the most?
Like who I got winning,
Yeah.
man. I got my boys either Hellstar or Cali Power. Two California teams, Trillion boys.
Dang.
I hope one of the California teams wins. So,
What
but
about what about
I'm
Trillion
pushing.
Boys?
I hope they win too. I hope it's both Cali teams playing in championships. So any California team, I hope they win. I hope they go get it done. But I'm gonna be rooting for my Hellstar boys, probably more or Cali Power. My coach over there is at Cali Power, and I used to play with Hellstar, so this is all my guys. So,
Yeah.
just rooting for the team. That's really it.
I'm a Trillium Boys fan because I interviewed their owners, Jack and Josh Stupin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
they're
go. Yeah, news,
they're
bro. Yeah, I hope
pretty
they.
funny.
I'm be happy. I hope they win too.
Yeah,
Just any California get it done. But I used to play for Hellstar. And, there's a little rivalry over there, so I can't
yeah,
be. I gotta hope Hellstar wins first.
yeah. Um, how do you say for chemistry wise? How would you say your relationship with all the OT7 players? How you guys bonded together and how's it evolved?
Man, I feel like just being at the hotels together, at the Airbnbs together, just chilling, and it's not always about football. I feel like just spending time, with the homies and just chilling is great for the chemistry, great for the team. Playing the game, whatever it may be. So I feel like that's kind of just helped us, just being around each other, playing with each other, well, playing games. You know what I'm saying? And I think, yeah.
How do you how do you all you guys push one another when you're trading or really also competing with each other?
I feel like we push each other because it's the best on best. Best players, whether it's in California, whether it's in Texas, whether it's in wherever you the best player, you on the team. So I feel like it's nonstop competition. So I feel like we make each other better every single day. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, I want to know more about you, personally, like who do you say Chris Flores Jr. is, when he's not on the field?
Man, I don't really do too much. I'm just be chilling at the house. I play the game a lot. Play the game when I have free time. If I don't got no free time, I'm just either sleeping or just eating. I don't know. I don't really do too much. I play the game just when I got nothing to do. If I don't got nothing to do, I'm playing the game. But
You
I
don't
don't
play
really.
Madden or anything?
Nah, I don't play Madden. I don't play Madden.
Really?
I don't play Madden. I play a little bit of NCAA every once in a while if I'm playing one of the homies for like a lunch or something. But other than that, I don't really. I just be at the house chilling, man.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. I know you played basketball for a bit too, right?
I did hoop for a little bit. That's just more for fun.
Yeah.
I used to go to 24, and I go to 24 a good amount. On the off season, I go to 24 to go hoop, and I've been going to 24. I finished the hoop like against all them dudes. I was like 8, so it's like, it's cool runs. You get to go run around for a little bit, and then I used to hoop on at Old Lou, so I just did that for fun, kind of just to keep myself
Yeah.
busy.
I mean, you were breaking his ankles, yeah. I saw those clips from your Instagram,
Yeah,
so
dude. Oh, that was real old. I used to play for OGP, so that was like, shoot, I think I was like 10, 9 right there when I was
yeah.
doing that. That's old. I always just played it since I was little, so it's just continue playing it just for fun.
Has that benefited you in any way, playing football? I know because you're a shifty receiver like Makai Lemon. So, I know you got the handles on the court too. So
Oh
how's that?
yeah,
Would you say that benefited you?
I think it benefits just the movements, just different athletic
Yeah.
movements. I think it's just maybe better on the football field when it comes to releases. It's like a crossover. Just certain little stuff like that. I feel like
Yeah.
all sports translate somehow. It's all athleticism.
How do you balance everything, football, school, and life outside the game?
I feel like just you gotta stay away from the distractions because if you stay away from distractions, you can balance it very easily. People say it's difficult, but it gets hard at its times. But it's just a matter of how bad do you want it, how locked in are you gonna stay. And I'm not perfect. I forget my grades will drop like to 2.5 on some months, like because I'm like not doing nothing. But then I get right back and then I get them all the way back up to A. So it's like it happens. It's just about staying consistent and not letting distractions get to you.
I like that, You never you never want any distractions to get to you, so it's always important, to do with
Exactly.
you're doing it with all your work ethic and yeah.
Exactly.
Um, when it comes to making your college decision in a year from now, what would you say matters most to you?
I mean, for me, just development. I feel like a lot of teams are going away from development because the transfer portal. You could get a guy for 1 year. So I think for me, it's just more of like I want to go to a family oriented place, and with that can develop their players well. And I feel like that's just the biggest thing for me, just to get there, develop, get a shot to play, and then just get the most out of your opportunity.
When people talk about the 2027, junior class years from now, how do you want your name to be remembered?
Man, that's a good question. I feel like I'll just want to be remembered as someone, who just played the game at a high level, man. Didn't make mistakes. Was a great football player, humble. Just did everything right. You know what I'm saying? Didn't do too much, didn't do too little. So I feel like just a guy who used to play the game at a high level. I would say that.
Where do you see yourself, 3 to 5 years from now? I know, you'll be in college, but you think by that time you'll be known as one of the best receivers in the country, really?
Man, I mean, time will tell, man. I mean, I hope so. That's my dream. That's my goal. And it's all God's plan. So whatever He's got in store for me, that's what I'm gonna do, and that's what I'm gonna do. As best of my ability. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's being the best receiver in the country or being the worst receiver in the country, it don't matter. I'm gonna just keep my head down, just continue work. I hope in 3 years, all the work that I put in and getting in the college weight room, getting bigger. I feel like that. I hope that just puts me up there because as far as I've done it in high school, as far as athleticism goes, route running goes, all that goes, I feel like I'm one of the best in the country. So I feel like I could do it, and I hope so, and I hope that's what God has in store for me. But if not, it is what it is.
All right, Chris, my final question for you is if you could
Sure.
pick any school and any coach to play for, who would it be
Any school, any coach to play for, all time or just right
right
now?
now?
Right now, man. Shoot, any school, any coach to play for. That's a tough question, man. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. So many great coaches, so many great schools. I really don't know.
You have a favorite offer you've picked up yet, or
Favorite offer? I would say my most favorite offer probably UNLV, UNLV or Michigan, because those were like my first offers. So I would say those are two of my favorite offers.
all right, thank you so much, Chris, for taking the
Yes,
time
sir.
meet with me
Yes, sir.
today. I'm excited to see where you take your career and how it pans out. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. Have a nice day, bro.
All right, you too.
All right, dog.